Hello, let's continue to create the title animation, but before we begin with this lesson, let's organize this a little bit. These two are for camera, so they can be on the same color, which can be cyan color. The particles are already a color, and the adjustment layers, we can leave the adjustment layer as it is right now. Maybe we can rename this as motion blur. Perfect. Alright, now so far we have this animation. We come from the right to the left. We have particles in 3D. Everything is 3D right now. And we have the camera attached to a null object. And you can see how easy it is to animate the null object. It's way easier than animating the camera itself. If we hit the custom view, we can see if we select our camera and press here, you can see how it moves. Alright, now let's go again to our active camera view, and here we are on the first second. Let's open with the U on our keyboard. We see the keyframes. We are now here on this position, and now we should wait for like a second and a half maybe, because we're going to add a voiceover here. So when it gets here, we should hear once upon a time. And let's see, it takes once upon a time, it takes like a second and a half, so we can move. If we are on the first second, let's move to the second 2.5. Now here we're going to create another keyframe, and then 1 second later, which would be over here, almost to the 4th second, right here. And when we get here, we're going to add a new keyframe. And now on this keyframe, we're going to move on the y-axis. Remember that it's better if we click right here when the y is shown here along the cursor. Now here, grab this y-axis and move all the way to the top, so the camera will do like this. So far this is what we have. Alright, this is looking nice. You can see how cool the particles look when we move along. You can see that it looks really 3D. So far we're going pretty well. Of course, when we get here, we need to see another text. Here we're going to read in a world. So it should read like once upon a time, in a world, you know, typical movie trailer. So when we get here, we need to see another text. So what we need to do is to duplicate this pre-comp, the once upon pre-comp, with Ctrl and D. Now we have a duplicate here of the text. Now this duplicate pre-comp, we're going to double click on it to open this pre-comp and take a look. We're going to select these two layers, the text layers. They have the glow, they have the duplicate here, and we're going to Ctrl C or to edit and copy, and we're going to the main composition and press Ctrl and B to paste it. So what I wanted is to extract this text from the pre-comp. We can now delete this pre-comp. What I wanted was to duplicate this and extract the text out of this precomp to use it to create a different precomp. Because if I duplicate this precomp and I, for example, if I change anything here, let me change this text. If I change this to in a world, then when I close this, then both of them will be changed. You can see that they both are changed because this is a precomp. So the software understands that if we change something in one precomp, we need to change this on the duplicate. So what we have to do is to open this and copy the text and paste it here on the main precomp, on the main composition, and later we will create a different precomp. Here we have the new text, and we have to change the text. Of course, we need to change this to in a world, and type the same on the second one, in a world. Now we have these two, so we need to take them both and right click and pre-compose. Now this pre-compose should be named in a world. Cool. Now let's make this new composition 3D. When we set it to 3D, we're not going to see it anymore because it's going to be placed on the same place where we put the first precomp. So what we need to do is to make the position of this new precomp the same position as the orbit null, so that the orbit null or the camera is pointing at it. So this is really easy to do. Just open the position properties here for the new precomp, and now with the camera orbit null, we're going to copy the final keyframe, which is this position. We're going to copy this and now go to the precomp in a world and press Ctrl B to paste this keyframe. So now when we get here, we go to this point because this text has the same position. You can see the settings. You can see the settings on each axis is the same. So this text is floating in the same place that the orbit null is. So let's get back a little here so that you can see how it looks. So right now the camera goes from this point, then travels to the first screen and stays there for 1.5 seconds, and then goes up and points to this new world. Alright, let's go again to our active camera. And so far we are doing pretty well. We have now two screens. The camera goes, it says once upon a time. It stays there for 1.5 seconds. And then goes up and says in a world. So it should read like once upon a time, in a world, and later will come the next text. That's it for this lesson. Now let's remember to paint this in the same color as the one previous to it, orange color. Now we have the both text on precomps and with the same color. And please remember to always save your file, because if you don't save your file and something comes up, maybe the lights go out or something, or you have to leave to anywhere, and you don't save, or your computer shuts down suddenly, you will lose all that you have done, everything that you have worked so far, and that will be a shame. So please remember to always save your file. Now let's go to the next lesson.